What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations for every gun in Modern Warfare 3. And in today's episode, we're going to be moving on to the DM56 Marksman Rifle. And starting it off as always, let's have a look at our damage profile. And with this gun, it's going to be a 3 to 4 shot kill, although as long as you're hitting upper torso or arm shots, it will have an infinite 3-shot kill potential. And in the maximum damage range, it's a guaranteed 3-shot kill no matter where in the body you shoot them. And then let's have a look at our headshot damage, which unfortunately isn't great for a marksman rifle at least. In the maximum damage range, we are capable of getting a 2-shot kill to the head, but both of those bullets need to hit the head. Beyond that, headshots will never cut this down to a 2-shot kill, so generally speaking with this gun, you're just best off aiming for the body. As for our rate of fire, this is the fastest out of the Modern Warfare 3 marksman rifles at 429 rounds per minute, so it is pretty spammable. And what this means is with a 3-shot kill, our time to kill potential is actually pretty great at 280 milliseconds. And that's one of the reasons I recommend just aiming for the body, because if you're hitting your shots consistently, this time to kill will actually compete with many of the SMGs in the game up close. Now, if you do manage to get that 2-shot kill by hitting both shots to the head up close, you can kill in 140 milliseconds, which is an insanely fast time to kill. But you do have to balance the risk versus reward. In most situations, like I said, you're best off just aiming for the body. Next, let's have a look at our damage ranges, and our maximum damage range is about 35 meters, which honestly isn't that great for a marksman rifle, but that's okay. As long as you're able to hit those upper torso shots, it will be a 3-shot kill at any range. Additionally, our bullet velocity is the worst out of the Modern Warfare 3 marksman rifles at 700 meters per second. Generally speaking though, that's still a solid bullet velocity that shouldn't be a problem for you unless you're stretching out to the really extremely long ranges. Then let's have a quick look at hardcore game modes, and the DM56 is incredible in hardcore because it's a guaranteed 1-shot kill anywhere in the body at any range. Now let's get into our hipfire, and the DM56 really stands out in this area. It has a really good hipfire spread for a marksman rifle. It's actually one of the few marksman rifles where I'd say hipfiring is actually viable in a lot of situations. In saying that though, you generally want to get aimed down sight because our recoil is also very good with this gun, especially considering the fire rate. It does climb up a little bit with the first 1 to 2 shots fired. There's a little bit more recoil with those bullets, but then the rest group really nicely into a tight group. So this is absolutely a very accurate and easy to control gun. Additionally, for the benefits of the DM56, we have excellent handling stats. Our aim down sight speed is very fast at 235 milliseconds. That's actually faster than some of the SMGs in the game. Also, our sprint to fire time is very impressive for a marksman rifle at least at 168 milliseconds. And our reload add time is 1.27 seconds. That's a very fast reload, and one of the reasons I don't even feel the need to run larger magazines, because those just slow your reload time down. Now, in saying this, I have something very important to point out about reloading with the DM56, and that is the reload empty time. It appears to be bugged out in some way. And what I mean by reload empty is if you fire the magazine all the way down to 0, now you have an additional animation you have to complete where you have to chamber a round. And this is normal for any of the guns in the game. The thing that's not normal about this is you'll notice the bullets don't actually get added to your magazine, like in the bottom right of the screen. They don't get added to the magazine until the entire animation is fully complete. And that's very out of the ordinary, and that makes for an extremely slow reload time for a gun like this at 2.74 seconds. And I think the worst part about this is just the fact that it's really visually jarring, because you can see on screen your character chambers a round, and yet that round doesn't actually get chambered. It just sort of disappears if you cancel that reload after you chamber the round. So there we go, just something to keep an eye out for with the DM56. Next, let's move into our mobility stats, and our base movement speed and sprint movement speed, they're pretty much average for a marksman rifle. However, our aim walking movement speed is quite good for a marksman rifle at 2.6 meters per second. And with that wraps it up for all of the base stats of the DM56. However, we do have a conversion kit for this, which I did cover in a video about a week ago, but I'm just going to give you guys a quick recap since I think it's important to include as part of the gun guide. So with this conversion kit, it turns it into a 4-round burst, and it also turns it into a 4 to 5 shot kill. So it does reduce our damage values. And when it comes to our rate of fire with this, the rate of fire within each burst is about 750 rounds per minute with a fairly slow burst delay at 115 milliseconds. And what this means is our time to kill potential with a 1-burst kill, with that 4-shot kill, this is 240 milliseconds, which is a great time to kill. But unfortunately, this isn't a very accurate burst at all, and therefore the likelihood of getting a 1-burst kill beyond like really close ranges is very slim. And if you don't get a 1-burst kill, you have a very punishing time to kill now at 435 milliseconds. And as a result, I really don't like this conversion kit on this gun, and I don't recommend using it. I will still share a class setup for you guys toward the end of the video, just for anybody that might be interested in it, but I've got to say, I'm not a fan of this at all. In either case, let's get into some great attachment combinations I've got for you guys, and the first one I wanted to share is my accuracy build. With this one, we're using the T5 1R billeted brake to help primarily with that vertical jump with the initial shots fired, but then in order to compensate for that, we're also using the FTAC SP10 angled grip to help straighten out a little bit of that horizontal deviation that you sometimes see with this gun. On top of that, we have the Prime Lord heavy barrel, the Holger recoil pad, and finally, the Choreo Eagle's Eye 2.5 times optic. I think this is just a nice optic where it provides a little bit more zoom, but not so much that it makes you kind of useless in close quarters engagements if you end up in them. Now with this build, you can see we've got a very accurate gun on our hands. There's also very little idle sway with this. That's another thing I wanted to point out. And that makes this very effective at longer ranges. Our aim down sight speed is still great for a long range build, actually very good for a long range build at 260 milliseconds. Our sprint out time is also still excellent for a longer range build, so it's actually quite a versatile setup as well. On top of that, our range values are increased by about 19%, and our bullet velocity is boosted here as well. So overall, just a great all-around setup, primarily for stretching out ranges, but like I said, it's also really versatile, and you can still hold your own up close just fine with this. As for the second build I've got for you guys, this is my stealth build, which is designed to be used a bit more aggressively than the previous one. So with this, we're using the Shadow Strike suppressor, the SL skeletal vertical underbarrel grip, the Mark III reflector, and once again, that Holger recoil pad. That attachment is just like a no-brainer with this gun. It's a very good attachment. And then to top this off, I honestly couldn't find a better attachment here, so I used the SC 1mW PEC laser, which is the one that isn't visible to enemy players, and it helps a bit with your aiming stability. And with this one, we've still got a very accurate gun on our hands. There's still that little bit of a jump after the first shot fired, but honestly, even at longer ranges, you should be able to hold your own just fine with this setup. Our aim down sight speed is incredible for a marksman rifle at 229 milliseconds, and it's the same story with our sprint out speed. This is very fast at 160 milliseconds. And then of course, we're off the radar here, so we can be quite stealthy and just versatile with this build. And that just leaves us with one more build I'm going to share for you guys, and this is using the Jack Signal Burst conversion kit, which, like I said, I am not a fan of this kit, but I do think it's important to at least share a build with this for anybody that may be interested in at least trying this out. It'll at least get you on the right path. And this is actually the exact same build I shared when I covered this, but we've got the X10 ported 290 muzzle, the FTAC SP10 angled grip, the armor-piercing rounds, of course the conversion kit itself, and then finally the Regency 12 stock. And with this one, we do tighten up the recoil within the burst a little bit, but there's only so much you can do with that, unfortunately. Our aim down sight speed is a bit on the slower side, but not completely useless at 307 milliseconds, and our sprint out times are also slowed down with this build. So there you go. If you insist on using this kit, at least give this setup a try, because it's about as good as you're going to get while using the Jack Signal Burst kit on this. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the DM56. As for my thoughts on this gun, I really enjoy it. I do like the high-ish fire rate semi-auto guns. I know this isn't the highest fire rate out there, and I'm definitely capable of getting a much faster fire rate, but it's still reasonably spammable. You get a solid time to kill, even with just body shots with it. It's extremely accurate, and the handling is excellent for a more aggressive playstyle. So this really just suits me well, and I absolutely love using the DM56. Now, of course, these are just my opinions on this gun, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it in those comments down below. Also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Gun Guides, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.